Hey guys, so the third capacity component has to do with endurance. How long should you be able to endure in order to not only show up in the daily demands that you may have in your lives, but also have some wiggle room so that simple tasks and events like raking the leaves or shoveling the snow doesn't put you out for the day? Well, before we answer the question of how long should you be able to endure, we got to make sure that we are looking at the same activity. Human beings are able to endure in a bunch of different ways and in a bunch of different conditions, and we've even created a bunch of different sports and activities to push our endurance. We've got cycling, we've got Nordic skiing, we've got swimming, we've got rowing, and we've also got running. And what we want to choose in order to measure our endurance, in order to make some sort of rule to work around, is an activity that gives us a big carryover to the demands of our lives, and it's pretty simple for a lot of people to take on. So we want the activity that's got the least amount of equipment and is land-based and upright, because that's how we tend to function as human beings. So running is the obvious choice. And the statement that's going to give you a lot of wiggle room, and it's going to give you a lot of places to deviate from and a great impact on your life would be, you should be able to run for at least a mile in less than 10 minutes without stopping. You should be able to run for at least a mile in under 10 minutes without stopping. So we can break this statement down into why are these things important? Well, one, you should be able to run. Because if you can't run, then it's going to be really hard for you to show up for loved ones and going to be able to respond when things are either emergencies or even just having fun with your loved ones, with your family, with your kids. You're going to want to be able to run across the street for a bunch of different reasons, and sometimes they're pretty scary ones. And you're going to want to be able to chase your kids around, and just playing and having a good time. So you should be able to run. And if you can run, then walking is going to be easier, because walking is that baseline that we got to get before we can run. You got to walk before you can run. You got to be able to do algebra before you can do calculus. So being able to run guarantees that walking should be a lot easier, and your daily life's going to be easier. And how long you should be able to run? Well, we just got to choose a distance that's going to have some carryover and all of us can recognize. So a mile is a simple one, because if you can run for a mile without stopping in under 10 minutes, then chances are you might actually be able to run a lot faster than that pace for a very short distance. And chances are you might be able to run even longer than that at an even slower pace, or stopping and then running again, stopping and then running again. So that gives you some wiggle room to work off of in terms of either going much faster, much more explosively for a short period of time, or much longer at maybe a slower pace or a different pace. So the statement is, you should be able to run for at least a mile in under 10 minutes without stopping. And if you can get yourself to be able to do that, you're going to need to perhaps train in order to get there, and you got to learn some sort of form that's durable so you don't break down. Then things are going to work out. You're going to have some wiggle room to have fun and to be able to respond and to be able to show up in all the different ways that life may ask of you and you may want to ask of yourself. So there's a bunch of different ways to go about getting that if you don't have it, and there's a bunch of different ways to make sure that you can keep it. But I hope you're able to run. I hope you're able to run comfortably, and I hope a mile isn't that big of a thing for you. And if not, then it's a worthwhile thing to try to get under your belt.